Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great evening. The cold front that kicked off all those storms and tornadoes east and north of us yesterday was here in full force. I think we peaked yesterday a little above 60, but we got down to about 38 last night, and we had the winds that are driving all that bad weather, driving the front that causes bad weather to the east. So Reg sent some of that Canadian air south again, and it's working its way towards the east coast. Okay, yesterday we had pretty strong selling, and I'm going to separate out where the auction took place. The market was down in response to earlier selling, and again, part of that's just the dynamics of moving paper. You have to, it's just much easier to move paper if you can get a higher interest rate. But at some point, the market's got to come down. So where might come back up to make everybody look halfway smart? So in situations where the market has had heavy selling, the first place we're going to look for potential support is in London. Where will the dealers defend prices? So we've got pretty good support at 24, which is also a market number. The auction took place just above 129 at the 1 level. And then we had these previous lows at 3.5 to 4. So we have this last rotate up in F period that stopped at 5. We've got this low here at 3.5. We've got the auction that starts at 1.5. So the buck to 04 is probably pretty stout resistance. The market's pretty good at getting stops above the overnight session high and low, but in the financials, if this 30 level holds right here, then we should get our retest to the overnight session low at 24. So based on the fact that we don't have any news to speak of today, the structural sell is 29 to 01 and then 3 to 7. That's going to, and this is just leaning against resistance right there at 30. I think we can do a little better, but you never know. And the retest failure is the most common trade. It's the trade that we play for, and resistance is at 30. So limit sell at 29.5. We go through 31. You're wrong. The backup sell is in this 7 area. We got this C period high at 07. We've got this low at 3.5. So our second sell area picks up these 2 points. Export prices -0.2. Import prices -0.3. No one will pay any attention to this news. Overnight, we had French industrial production unchanged. Great Britain's industrial production last month was up 0.3, came in up 0.1. So we don't have a lot of news overnight. Probably the biggest news overnight is out of Syria, where the ISIS rebels have joined with, I think it's the El Nusra or rebels. They've taken over the big refugee camp outside of Damascus, so they're within striking distance of the Assad's government. Hard to believe the fires that have been flamed that are going on around the world, but that's a fact. So I wonder if things get really, really bad, I wonder where Assad will take his $1 billion and retire to. So that to me is the major piece of news. 21 to 25, buy 1. And then 17 to 13 is going to be buy 2. Got a high volume number down here at 19, which is a potential attractor. We've got this low volume area here, 1.5 to 31.5, which is where resistance starts. And you can see a low volume number at 9.5, a low volume number at 4.5, and in this area right here. So there's quite a bit of resistance to get through without some help from the news, and we don't have any news this morning to speak of. So the direction of the E-mini to me is probably the deciding factor, and it held its overnight gains. Europe and Asian markets were up strong too, and it sure isn't off of economic news. Okay, we have two Fed governors to speak today, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing his name correctly. Co-Chair Lakota is the one that a couple of days ago said that QE4 might be in order. So Bullard back in the fall rallied the market explosively when he said that we may not raise interest rates. QE4 might be in there, and then Cochero's come out, so his speech today will be followed by the news algorithms. Okay, looking at the 30-year, and we're going to do an I split here. Took place the auction, I think, at 27.28. So just looking at where resistance is, we got this 28 to the buck. We got this low right here at 20, like 22, 23. Got the overnight session high, this two-letter ledge. Remember, this retest failure trade is what the financials are built on. And two-letter ledges, single prints, chart highs, chart lows, or where we are. So London, basically their support at 63. We're currently trading at 10. The last rotate down stopped at 4. So 1 to 5 is going to be buy 1. And let them get stops below the overnight session low by 2. On the sell side, resistance is at 14, 12 to 16. We got a little dent at 13. We got another little dent at 16. So the overnight session high is at 15. 11 to 15 is sell 1. It's very, very aggressive. We're dealing with a P structure. And then the second one's going to be 19 to 23. So M splits are appropriate when you are dealing with actually equities and financials, because that's where the market can turn. So we've got volume is building higher right here. We'll want to set up no limit order sells at 11 to 15. 11 to 15, that's just where resistance is. Again, with all the problems that are going on in the Middle East, we don't hear any news out of the Ukraine right now, and another one of those diplomatic successes. We really don't have a overall strategy or guiding philosophy right now on foreign affairs. And I mean, if I'm a dictator out there, I got 2 years to grab everything I can get my hands on, and nothing's going to happen to you from the United States anyway. Okay, we had the London low at 93. Left click on the longest line of letters, and there you have it. So we've got a breakout in gold at 97, and we've got resistance at 1205. So this is resistance, sell 1. Then 10 to 12 is sell 2. So failure to get through the F5 area. That's where we are. We had the breakout at 97. So 95, 97's buy 1. And then our 90, 92. And I, like we said for the last 3 days, this 90 to 95 area looks like pretty good support. And then definitely 1210 is where resistance is. The sad thing about what's going on in the world right now is that you can destroy or break something quickly. I mean, you can take several hundred years of work and it can be gone in the blink of the eye if your intent is to destroy it and tear it down. And so it's going to take a long, long time to repair the damage that's being done now, and some of it will not be repairable. I mean, if I were a foreign country, I wouldn't take the word of the U.S. for anything, because every 4 years you have a shot at your foreign policy being reversed. And I just wouldn't trust the United States to do anything that they said they were going to do anymore. And you can't blame them. I mean, it's just proven. I know this at the visceral level because of my experience with government. It was a long, long time ago, words and rhetoric, etc. These people that govern us, they put self-interest first, and that quite often isn't in the national interest. So we liked the sell side yesterday. We were hoping to sell against 107. Didn't quite make it. 106.90 holds. London, the selling comes at 60. We take out that low at 50. So 40 to 50 is sell 2. 106, 106.10. Leaning against 106 is sell 1. 50 to 60, that's a round number, and then 105 even, testing the recent lows. There was an interesting article out there. You know, it's easy. The easy way to get rid of debt is to inflate it away, and that's what all governments try to do. Pay back in devalued currency. But the issue then quickly becomes, what is it replaced with? And that's where we are right now. So tangible, silver, gold, are getting their support by people just want to have something in case the bottom falls out. Politicians, well, the status quo is always in effect until outside forces change it. So, you know, having a little cash, I think silver will be more fungible than gold in smaller increments. I mean, from a survival standpoint, silver makes more sense to me. But I think everybody should have a little bit of that. And again, it's not an investment. It's an insurance policy. And you have to have something that will buy you time. You got to have a back door. You have to have an alternate to land the airplane at. Got to have enough fuel on board to get to the alternate. So that's how you have to think these days. Okay, we like buying against 50. Haven't quite made it, so 50, 50, 25 is buy one, just like it was last night. 49.50, buy two. On the sell side, 51, and they're pretty good at getting stops above the overnight session high and lows. So we're going to leave crude pretty much where it was yesterday afternoon. The Houthi rebels have taken over another provincial or capital or center, like the county seat, put it in our terms, of Yemen's largest oil-producing district. And you can bomb all you like, but if you want to reverse the situation on the ground in Yemen, you're going to have to put troops on the ground, and everybody will be very reluctant to do that. And that's a long process. It's very, very expensive in blood and treasure, and very few people are willing to do that. It's easier to build a fence around your territory and take over and help maintain the entry to the Red Sea than it is to take Yemen down. Okay, the E-mini, where's it headed? Let's go back and look at the one. Got the 90 area that we pointed out yesterday, and so far that's resistance. 2101, we've got a low volume number. This 91 to 97 is a high volume number, pretty easy to get there. So 2101, 2105. If we get through 90, next stop probably is 2100. So we're going. This market's going to open at resistance, and you can see when we put all of this together, I've done a K-split because that's where the rally started from. And you can see that we have a P here. That's what we showed yesterday. So we got really, really good support in the 65, 67 area. We do have resistance at 2090, then at 2100. And this market so far is pointed higher. There's no news to take us up. Good economic news. Yesterday's wholesale trade showed another big drop in revenues, which is why inventories built. So the economy is softening. No one can deny that. But the weaker the economy, the higher the stock market can go. That's just the way the game's been played since March of 2009. So I think the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 90.92. And we're going to put a question mark here because we should get stops above the overnight session high. So 94.96, sell 1. Start of this high volume area, then 99.01 will be sell 2. We're at 88. 84, so our 85, 87 is going to be buy 1. And 80, 82 is going to be buy 2. Today's import-export prices won't drive anything. Last night, French industrial production was unchanged, no growth there. Great Britain's industrial production was at a tenth. They were expecting 0.3%. So the news coming out of Europe doesn't show growth either. So 94.96 will be sell 1. We may have to get short if 92 holds. And then 99 to 01. On the buy side, 85.87. That's first. If we find resistance, don't have a resting buy order at 90.92, don't have a resting buy order at 87. Let's get our setups before we step out. It'll take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that right now. See you as soon as I can.